name is John Dingman, and I'm the Chief Appraiser for Class Valuation. In March of 2022, the GSEs, both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, introduced desktop appraisals into their respective guides. Now, this is the result of the appraisal modernization efforts initiated by FHFA to allow appraisers to complete these types of appraisals, and they might include leveraging tools like Class Valuation's Property Fingerprint, which allows the appraiser to virtually inspect the interior and exterior of the property from a remote location rather than completing a personal physical inspection. Our focus today is on property data collection and addressing some of the concerns or questions that both appraisers and lenders have regarding property data collection as it relates to the hybrid and desktop appraisals. The GSEs have aligned on the forms for desktop and hybrid appraisals, and they were introduced to the market in July of 2020 and are nearly identical to the traditional 100470 URAR or the 1073-465 condominium appraisal forms today. It is the scope of work that is different. Traditional appraisals require that an appraiser performs a complete personal and physical inspection of both the interior and exterior areas of the subject property. The hybrid appraisal assignment does not require a personal and physical inspection of the subject property. The physical inspection will be completed by a third-party inspector. And while this person could be an appraiser or a trainee, it must be someone different than the appraiser assigned to the hybrid appraisal who will complete a virtual inspection, again, using tools like Class Valuation's Property Fingerprint, one that allows them to view the interior and the exterior of the subject property. The desktop appraisal assignment does not require a personal and physical inspection of the subject property at all, nor does it require any form of property data collection. Again, the hybrid requires property data collection in the field from somebody other than the appraiser. Desktop does not require any property data collection, and it is because there is an assumption that because the eligible properties are purchase transactions, that the appraiser will be able to gather all of the information needed from the MLS, public records data, etc. to complete the assignment, meeting the GSE assignment specific requirements, and deliver a credible appraisal report within the confines of USPAT. Today, appraisers are challenged to meet the assignment conditions for desktop outlined by the GSEs, and specifically, those challenges are related to floor plan and photos. Both of the GSEs require the inclusion of a floor plan. The intent is to share with the appraiser the functional utility of the improvements. The requirement for a floor plan, which is different from a sketch, is outlined in the pre-printed forms under the Statement of Assumptions and Limiting Conditions. The floor plan requirements are outlined by Fannie Mae in their selling guide, and they include the exterior and interior walls, doorways, staircases, points of ingress and egress, and room labeling for each room. Now, Freddie Mac does not have the same requirements, but both do require that the appraiser shows the exterior dimensions used to calculate the gross living area. If the seller or seller's agent is still in possession of a floor plan, typically provided by the builder in new construction, that floor plan would have to include all of the elements outlined by the GSEs. Thousands of floor plans are available online today, and you can quickly see that there is an issue. Most will include the total square footage of the improvements, but they do not include the exterior dimensions used to calculate that square footage. While some do include interior dimensions, they are not provided for every room, and without them, an appraiser could not even begin to add the areas up along with the width of each wall to generate those dimensions. Both of the GSEs have minimum photograph requirements for desktop appraisal, which include exterior photos of the front and rear of the subject, along with the view from the street. Interior photos required include the kitchen, all bathrooms, and the main living area. Desktops in policy today specifically serve purchase transactions, and most of the photos can be obtained digitally online. However, agents typically do not provide street photos. Now, there are other online sources which include Google or Bing, but if the community is guarded, gated, or in an area that is not covered, then street photos will not be available. If the kitchen or baths require updating or remodeling, agents will sometimes hide photos from potential buyers, all in an attempt to avoid turning them off before they ever visit the property. Instead, they want the buyer to fall in love with the house and imagine what the kitchen and or bath will look like after they update it. In all cases, if the appraiser cannot obtain the floor plan or photos as required by the GSEs, then it is not appropriate for the appraiser to perform the desktop appraisal, and the assignment must be upgraded to a traditional appraisal with an interior and exterior inspection of the property. When a lender submits their loan application to the GSEs, a wide spectrum of valuation solutions could be made available to them. They range from a waiver, which means there is certainty around the value and no appraisal is required, to a waiver plus property data collection, which means there's certainty around the value but uncertainty around the improvements themselves, and as a result they need to view the property. All the way to traditional appraisals, which require the appraiser's personal inspection of the property. Class Valuation's property fingerprint has been developed to collect the property data, generate a floor plan, and create that digital twin or 3D tour of the property. The results are leveraged to complete the waiver plus property data collection, and it is also used to support the hybrid process. Class Valuation knows that the challenges around desktop have resulted in lenders not pursuing them when offered and appraisers not completing them when assigned. Cycle times are impacted as everyone involved in the transaction regroups, and the consumer is negatively impacted and their overall experience is a poor one at best. We recognize that we are winning with property fingerprint in hybrid and have elected to expand the scope of work for desktops to include property data collection with property fingerprint. This ensures that the appraiser has all of the information they need to complete the desktop assignment credibly and compliantly. Does it work every time? No, but overwhelmingly appraisers move forward with desktop assignments and only require an upgrade to a traditional appraisal less than 1.4% of the time. For Class Valuation and our partners, this represents an opportunity to complete the desktop appraisal without further delays and without compromising quality. Remember, it is on the appraiser to ensure that they have sufficient information about the physical characteristics of the subject property to complete the desktop appraisal. Consistent with USPAP, appraisers are permitted to consider and develop any information deemed credible, and that includes information from sources like property fingerprint. If you are interested in learning more about Class Valuation's property fingerprint, then visit us on Tuesdays or Fridays where we demo our technology and show how the data is collected and made available to the appraiser for consumption, resulting in a successful desktop or hybrid appraisal experience. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to review this information. If you found it to be helpful, remember to smash that like button. So you don't miss any other videos, remember to hit the subscribe button. And if you have any questions regarding this issue or others, or you simply would like to learn more about joining our digital appraiser panel, then please reach out to our digital desktop hybrid team for assistance. Have a great rest of your day and be safe out on your inspections.